Welcome to Cord Cutting This Week, episode number 45, the show where I give you my opinion on some of the biggest stories in the world of cord cutting. Now, this is my opinion. If you want to learn more about these stories, down in the show notes down below, I have links to each story so you can read about them in depth and make your own decisions. Have a different opinion? Let me know. Is there a story I missed? Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. First, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification. I really appreciate it. We cover the world of cord cutting from weekly Q&As where we answer all your cord cutting questions every Wednesday night, to reviews, how-to guides, and these recap shows. So check us out there. Also, if you want to know about Rokus, I did a special edition of This Week in Cord Cutting on Tuesday because all the new Rokus were announced. Put a link to that show down in the show notes down below where you can find it there. All right, let's dive into it. Right off the bat, Comcast is reportedly willing to sell 30% of Hulu to Disney. So Disney is buying Fox's share of Hulu. That'll give them 60%. Now Comcast is reportedly willing to sell off their 30% of Hulu to Disney also. That means Disney will own 90% of Hulu and effectively 100% control of Hulu because AT&T purchased Time Warner's 10%, but that's a non-voting, non-control share. So this would give Disney 100% of the Hulu's board of directors and effectively make Hulu a fully fledged Disney product. Maybe AT&T will even sell off their share. We'll see. They may just want to keep getting the cut of the profits. Why is Comcast doing this? Well, really, they only just got board seats recently. It really doesn't give them a lot of a share to do anything with Hulu. Now that Disney will have 60%, they can easily be outvoted. And Comcast recently bought Sky. Sky is a cable network over in Europe that Disney owns a small share of. So reportedly, they're looking to do a little swap here. Plus, it looks like Comcast may want a little bit of cash too. We'll see which way this goes. But they will likely want their full control of Sky. Plus, they're done with Hulu at that point. Keep an eye on this. Who controls Hulu? If Comcast gets a little bit of share in it, I'll be interested to see if they drop it. Does that affect their content share? I would say probably not. There's still contracts in place. But keep a close eye on this story going forward. Very interesting. Next up, Sinclair is promising 3.0 over-the-air TV chips in January at CES. So 3.0 over there, the ATSC standard, if you want, ATSC, yep, that's right. Standard is a new over-the-air standard. It brings 4K, a different way of transmitting the signal, which is supposed to do a better job of having better penetration, cutting through trees and buildings and so forth. So if you live in an area where it's kind of a fringe reception, the ATSC 3.0 will theoretically help you get full signal. Now, it doesn't say if you live in an area with no signal, it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to suddenly have signal. This is going to be great for the people who struggle with maybe a weak signal or right on the fringe where you can kind of get it, kind of can't. It depends on how the weather is. This is going to be awesome for them. Well, there's been testing in Phoenix, Dallas, now Chicago, and some other cities. But we've been waiting for a while for a real chip to put in TVs and phones. And Sinclair said with their partnerships, they're going to be releasing chips that can be put in phones, tablets, TVs, wherever, and get it. So now when you're on the road and you got your phone, you'll be able to watch over their TV through your phone, through your tablet, which I'm kind of excited about. That seems like a really great feature for over there TV. I know that's really big in Korea. You see a lot of phones, even with little antennas that will slide out. And right there's a TV in their phone. That's pretty popular in Korea right now. And it sounds like Sinclair wants to bring that to the United States. Keep an eye on this. I will be at CES this year. I got my hotel, flights, everything. I'm going to be there. So we will do our best to make sure we cover this in depth. Keep your eyes open. But let me know. How excited are you about 3.0 over-the-air TV? With the move over to 4K and everything becoming more popular with better penetration, now, would you upgrade? Now, current 1.0 standard, which is what we have now, will be mandated for 5 more years. So let's say next year TV stations start switching over to 3.0. For 5 more years, they're going to have to continue in the current transmission standard. So you're going to be fine. You're going to be continue to receive your stations just like you are now for, I would say right now, likely at least 6 years, if not 7, 8 or more from where we are when I'm recording this. With the 4K, the better penetration, will you be running out to buy an adapter? We already have several companies saying they're working on ones. Some of them are going to be like traditional boxes. I've also seen some concepts of a stick. You plug in your HDMI cable, you plug your coaxial cable in there, and bam, you have a 3.0 TV. You just use your TV to switch that HDMI input, and you now have a 3.0 TV with it. But would you upgrade? Is that 4K enough for you to upgrade? Would better penetration in the signal be enough for you to upgrade? Leave me a comment. Will you need a new antenna? No, the antenna will be the same. The antenna is a dumb piece of metal. It really, I mean, this paperclip right here is an antenna. And with that, you know, it's not a great antenna, but if you look very close there, it's great. It's what's in your TV. It's that processing chip in your TV that takes the signals that are picked up here, because this is picking up TV signals, this is picking up radio signals, and more. It's the chip in your TV that tunes the frequencies this is picking up for TV, and that's what's being upgraded. So let me know, would you spend the money to go upgrade, or are you going to be perfectly fine where you are now? Leave me a comment. All right, next up, good news. Happy day for PlayStation Vue subscribers. Sinclair-owned stations are back. Now, not all. They're rolling them out, but most Sinclair stations popped up this week at the CBS, ABC, Fox, and NBC. It's a smattering. Seems to be dead spots here and there. It could take a little while. They may be re-adding some. So over the next month or so, look for more to pop up probably. But this puts PlayStation Vue from what used to be the leader in locals, dropped all the way to the fourth streaming service with locals, behind Fubo, DirecTV Now, YouTube TV, and Hulu. Now into a battle for second place. Now has over 500, still behind the 600 some Hulu has, but right neck and neck with YouTube TV. I have to try to dig up the exact numbers. I wasn't able to get a firm count on what YouTube TV has, but they're right in the same 20 or 30 station spread there. YouTube TV in the markets they offer it has most. They try to get at least 3 of the big 4 before they launch in a market, but there are still markets on YouTube TV that does not have all 4 locals. So they're right battling out. Puts Fubo TV a little bit behind, but they're fighting hard. Fubo TV's adding a lot. Unfortunately, they don't have ABC still, so that's probably going to move them down to 4th again. So keep an eye on that. But I think we're getting pretty close. So my prediction at the beginning of the year was the idea that by the end of 2018, most Americans will be able to get their locals. Not on every streaming service, but if you live in one area, maybe it's DirecTV Now, maybe it's Hulu, maybe it's PlayStation Vue, but a majority of Americans will get it. And I think I read that Hulu told us something like 80% of their subscribers get the big 4 now. So ABC, NBC, Fox, and CBS are all streaming on Hulu in 80% of the markets. I think PlayStation Vue is probably in the 60 to 80% range, somewhere in there. YouTube TV is probably in the same for Americans. Now, again, they need to continue to roll out to more markets. So keep a close eye on this fight. But I think we're getting very close to my prediction, where it may not be in all of them, but one of these services will have the locals you want. Keep an eye on it. All right, speaking of locals, that is a big popular subject. Now, some people just don't want to mess with an antenna. I think an antenna is still the best way, because not only do you get ABC, NBC, Fox, and CBS, with an antenna you get so many more others. By the way, MeTV is probably becoming one of my favorite ones. Comet's probably becoming one of my favorite TV stations. There's many others out there. Antenna TV is a really good one. Retro TV and more. So if you're not using an antenna, you're really missing out on these. Though increasingly, services are trying to find ways of bringing antennas to people who struggle. I live in an area where indoor antenna picks up everything but NBC. With an outdoor antenna, I get NBC. But I have to put an outdoor antenna in my home. NBC and the inside, just sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. Depends on the weather, depends on how everything's going. But Locast is a nonprofit service currently in a handful of markets, including Denver, Boston, Chicago, Houston, Dallas, and New York. Probably more on the way. That streams over their networks. Now, not all of them, but they get the big 4: ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, plus some others. Depending on where you live, it will give you things like the CW and MeTV and others. Well, one of the biggest complaints against it was you needed either a mobile device or go to their website. Well, now they have a Roku channel. So you can use your Roku, if you live in one of these cities, to stream your locals. Now, a few people have said, well, I live technically in a market, but I'm not getting it. It's based off your IP address, which determines where you're located. So I, for instance, for a long time with PlayStation Vue, it would say, even though I'm 3.5 hours from Dallas, it would try to put my locals as a Dallas local. I'm 3.5 hours away from Dallas, but driving 80 some miles an hour in Texas, because that's what we do here in Texas. That's the speed limit. They were giving me the wrong locals. There's just no way else to describe it. And that's because my IP address to them, for some reason, was putting me in a Dallas market. Now, same thing here. A few people have said, well, I live in a market, but I'm not getting it. It's your IP address. One hint there, unplug your modem, the thing that gives you internet, leave it off for like 20 minutes, and then try plugging it back in. See if that resets your IP address. It's kind of one of those things you can't really force fix. But yeah, just one tip there. But this is really cool, and it does a really good job bringing you your locals for free. They're using a clause in FCC rules, Title 17, Chapter 1, Section 111A5, if you want to read it. But it basically allows nonprofits to be able to do this. And they don't charge anything, they don't take money, there's no ads, they just take donations, and that's how they're offering this service. So if you're looking for a way to get your locals, check it out. Sling TV has actually been aggressively promoting this in the markets recently. They sent out some emails to their subscribers, and it's actually a great fit. Because with Locast, you get all those ABC, NBC, Foxes for free, plus others like MeTV and more. Well, and then that's free. And then if you want ESPN, NFL Network, Pac-12, whatever, AMC, Sling TV will give that to you starting at $25. A lot of people say, why doesn't Sling TV just offer locals? Well, there's a price thing here. Locals on average can cost as much as $16 on your monthly bill. So you look at Sling TV, $25. Most other streaming services now at $40. That's a $15 price difference for locals that you can get with an antenna, at least many people. And Sling TV has aggressively said, we're going to be the service for companies or for people who have an antenna. If you have an antenna and you want to add cable networks to it, we'll be your service. We can be noticeably cheaper because we're not bundling in locals, and give you some more flexibility with add-ons and more. And I think it's not bad. It seems to have resonated well with many people, that they have the most subscribers, well over 2.2 million now as of last reported. They're probably much higher than that at this point. But I get it, there's other people saying, I don't want that. I want my locals with that. I don't want to mess with a separate DVR. I don't want to mess with any other features. Okay, I get that. So there's DirecTV Now, Hulu, PlayStation View, YouTube TV, Fubo TV, and others that include locals. That's the great thing about cord cutting, is that even though you may not have everything you want in one service, there's probably another service over here that says, hey, we can be what is good for you. Unlike cable, I say this all the time, cable will say, hey, here's what you got. You got 3 packages. You got to pick between these 3 packages. That's it. And if you're somebody who doesn't, what you want doesn't fit into those 3 packages, screw you. We don't care about you. We're Comcast. We're Charter. We're DirecTV, Satellite, whatever. So it really is a great thing about cord cutting. Yeah, there's tons of options, and not all the options are going to be great for you, but there's the ones out there. And that's the reason why Sling TV doesn't include locals. With Locast, it kind of seems like a great bundle here. Hopefully more companies come out like this and continue to roll out deals like this. Hopefully we'll continue to get more cord cutting options. As cord cutting grows, we're estimated to hit over 30 million cord cutters in the United States by in 2020. That, as we keep growing those numbers, more and more services come out for cord cutters. So let me know, are you somebody who wants your locals with your streaming service? Is that important to you? Or are you somebody who says, I don't need my locals, I have an antenna, I'll rather get like something like Sling TV, or maybe Fubo is what you want, where it doesn't have all the locals, and so on. Leave me a comment, let me know. I'll love to hear from you. Hey, that's the show this week. Next week, regular schedule. We'll right back here. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit that thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these stories. I would really appreciate your support. But I will see you next week right here. Thank you, and I really appreciate your support.